Hey guys, welcome back to Tip of the Spear. And as always, we're trying to bring the things that are happening in the world from not only a biblical standpoint, but also a prophetic standpoint. And I have one of my good friends with me, Olivier Melnick. Thanks for joining with me today, brother.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
You've been busy. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, it's been a while, but we got caught up here in Oklahoma at a prophecy conference.
Right.
And so we thought we would sit down and talk about some news that pertains to Israel. And what I wanted to pick your brain, since you're kind of the expert on anti-Semitism and the things that are going on in the Middle East, is I wanted to get your take on first of all, Trump's plan, this 20-point peace plan. But now we hear the news that Hamas has agreed to it. And everyone's cheering, this is wonderful, Trump's going to get the Nobel Peace Prize. But I want to hear from a Jewish perspective, what does that mean from a biblical perspective as well, when you hear that Hamas will do this? Because I don't know if I trust Hamas.
You don't know if you trust Hamas?
Well.
I know I don't. So there you go. I'm ahead of you on that one.
Right.
I think we're on the same page.
Sure.
No, I don't trust Hamas. Listen, I'm very, very happy that, as we're recording this, probably within the next few days, we even got the list of the 20 who are still alive.
Yeah.
They are going to be going home. We rejoice.
Yeah,
I rejoice for the
Amen to
families.
that.
They're going to be reunited. That's good news.
Yeah.
I don't care whatever perspective you look, it's good news.
Yeah.
The dead ones, I don't know what's going to happen because many of them cannot be even identified. So I don't know what's going to happen. But I don't trust Hamas. I think this first phase, returning the hostages, it's going to work. But after that, I think they're going to start, they've been doing this for a while now. I compare them to, and it's a weak analogy, but I compare them to the little child that doesn't want to go to bed. Okay, here's the deadline. Okay, 5 more minutes. Can I get a glass of water? Can I go to the bathroom? 5 more minutes. They keep pushing, but when they push, it's because they want to get reorganized and reloaded. And so that I don't trust them. Here's the thing. They still have their charter saying they want to kill Israel.
Yeah.
So their plan, their goal is the same.
Right.
Right now, many of their leaders are dead,
Yeah.
and Israel could probably finish the job. I think they're going to go with phase 1, and then at some point it's going to break. At some point they're going to do something stupid. I kind of hope they do.
Yeah, right.
It sounds terrible as a Christian.
No, I get it, but there's a justice aspect to it.
Right, because I don't think, when I read this Truth Social post from Trump yesterday saying that all parties will be treated fairly, and that this, and then of course he's thanking Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt for being the helpers in the plan. I'm going like, who are our friends? Qatar and Turkey?
Yeah, no.
So it's more than just Hamas. It's just like the people that are, helping to orchestrate this. They have an ulterior motive. So does Trump. And listen, I voted for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
sure.
it's better than the alternative.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I agree with you.
But Trump is. My concern is that he's handling everything like a business deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. It seems like everything he does, including the Middle East, is a financial transaction. And that if he can incentivize Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey with financial prosperity, he seems to think that's going to work with them. Okay, so this is where I want to pick your brain. You know the Middle East better than anybody. Okay, so...
No, some.
So here's the thing. If you were to advise Trump, what would you tell him? Hey, in understanding the Islamic mindset?
Well, the problem that most of the West, the West does not understand, and you know that very well because I've heard you speak on that so many times. We have 2 different ideologies. You have the West valuing life.
Yeah.
And Israel probably is the epitome of that.
Right.
Because they go out of their way in so many different ways to protect civilian lives.
Yeah.
We've seen it, of course.
Leaflets, all that stuff.
Leaflets, they drop stuff on roofs to make noise so that people know that, I learned that recently. I didn't know about that one. They make so many things to let people know, hey, we're going to be coming, get out.
Yeah.
We're not after you, we're after Hamas or whoever the terrorists are, wherever they are. And the West is thinking like the West, and they say, "Oh, we're going to deal with the Middle East, and we're going to have to negotiate. We're going to have to, we'll give them some, they'll give us some." They don't. They worship death.
Yeah.
To them, death, martyrdom, is actually the goal. Okay, and so they will. The only thing they're going to respond to is force.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of saw that with Iran.
Right.
Because, right now we haven't heard much about Iran.
That's right. That's right.
I don't trust them either.
No, but you're right. They understand power.
Yeah, force, and so I think if I was advising Trump, and we're going to get a lot of emails for that, but I would say get the hostages and then level the place.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. And help me understand.
Okay,
this.
hold on, because I tell you what, no matter what Israel does, they will end up being guilty no matter what, in the eyes of the media, in the eyes of the world. So get the hostages home, the live one, the dead bodies if you can, gather them, and then finish the job, level the place. Because if you don't, people will figure out a way that, they're going to still accuse you of genocide and starvation and occupation.
Right.
And so you might as well do it.
Might as well do it.
I sound so unchristian.
No, but it's biblical justice, because remind me and see if I'm wrong. I remember Netanyahu a long time ago, after this had started, this is years ago, saying we're going to finish the job and wipe Hamas completely out, which biblically they deserve to die. According to even the Noahic covenant, they've shed blood, innocent blood. Death is the next thing for them. Yes. From Israel's standpoint, why do you think they succumb to a deal like this, even though there's people wanting justice, knowing that Hamas, we're not saying all the Palestinians, we're saying Hamas needs to completely be eradicated, and this new plan under Trump allows Hamas to survive. It allows them to go into foreign countries and seek asylum there in foreign countries, and so we have the murderers being let go. And there's some other things I want to talk to you, but I'm from the Israeli standpoint, why did they bite on this? Why did Netanyahu go for something like this?
I don't think anybody likes that, but I think that right now, after 2 years in the tunnels, Israel just wants the people back. They just want the hostages back. And I really think that once they're back, things are going to start shifting, and you might see different things. And Israel right now I think Israel is united as they never were before because of what's hopefully happening in the next few days. But once they're back, let's face it, once they're back, Hamas is gonna. I mean, how many 1,700 released terrorists for 48 people, 20 of them alive and 28 dead.
Right.
So 7 plus 2, almost 2,000. And now people have to remember, that the release of Gilad Shalit, what was it, 2015?
Yes.
In 2015, Gilad Shalit, who had been taken hostage, was released by the Palestinian Authority, and they got I don't know how many, over 1,000 terrorists released for his life. One of them was Yahya Sinwar, who was the mastermind of October 7th. So how many of these people being released for the 20 in the next couple of days are going to come home and say, hey, guess what? We were thinking when we were in prison, we got an idea for the next move.
Yeah, and that's where I get frustrated from the Israeli side. It's because I talk to them on the ground, just like when we go to Israel. And last time I talked to the IDF, and you ran into the same guys, like Ariel, for instance. He was so dejected that what have we been fighting for when at the same time they're going to release these terrorists back into Judea and Samaria, and now more are going to be released. It seems, deflating if you're on the front lines. And I get there's all kinds of politics, but man, where's the justice in all of this? I don't know.
Okay, so right now, what's the alternative?
I know, that's the thing. Wipe Hamas completely out, I guess.
If you were in charge of Israel, would you have blanket bombed Gaza last week, 2 weeks ago, and said we're done?
I would.
And lose the hostages?
Yeah, and that's why I'm not a world leader, but I would have carpet bombed the whole place 2 years ago. That's me.
By the way, the accusation.
But that's what we have always done as the U.S. So I'm not saying anything the U.S. wouldn't have done.
Anybody can do that except for Israel.
Right, but
Yeah, that's
they
the
can't
double
fight
standard.
that way.
That's the double standard.
That's
but,
right.
But the Israel is being accused of genocide over and over and over, and if Israel was interested in genocide, they would have bombed Gaza on October 8th.
That's right.
The day after.
Totally.
They didn't.
Totally, and they didn't.
So, but I don't know what the alternative is right now. So, I mean, I understand Ariel. I had long conversations with him, in driving places, and
Right.
he's frustrated. He's angry.
Oh yeah, and I get it from the soldier standpoint.
Yeah.
They're dejected. Okay, so let me ask you this then. Okay, so going on Trump's 20-point peace plan, do you know if it was him or who was behind articulating these 20 points, putting this together? Because it seems like whoever articulated these 20 points doesn't understand the Middle East. Because I'll give you an example. One of the points is we're going to have an interfaith dialogue with Hamas. Okay, what? Who in the world would write something so stupid?
I know, and then running the other one about running with the technocrats.
We're going to have the technocrats run the Gaza.
It's like
What
running Gaza
technocrats?
like a business.
Yes. And who are these technocrats? Is it Elon Musk? Is it Peter Thiel?
Well, let's bring the CEO from Costco and the CEO from Nintendo, and then just see if we can run Gaza. And then,
Right.
But that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. We're just buying a business, and we're going to start a business in the Mediterranean.
Right, and the reality is, and it's sad. It's a sad realization, but people need to understand that ideology of death of Islam will never die, and it's going to be that way until Jesus returns.
Yeah.
Okay, so that ideology, if it's not Hamas, another group will pop up. If it was Al Qaeda, and then it was ISIS, and now it's Hamas, and there'll be another one.
Yeah.
It's the same ideology, and they're probably getting ready right now somewhere, and they'll pick up where Hamas left off.
Good point. Good point. Because, it's not so much even Hamas. It's the religion that no one wants to address. And, I can expand this a little further, and I want to get your take on this. But the religion is causing a problem in Europe. It's causing a problem here in the United States. And I'm watching Dearborn, Michigan go up in flames.
Right.
I'm watching New York. They had it was the October 7th anniversary in New York, and the Palestinians were just flooding the streets. And so it's not even a Hamas thing; it's an Islamic thing. And can you speak to that of this ideology?
It's not an Islamic thing, Brandon. You and I know what it is. It's evil.
Yes.
It's evil. It's
demonic.
Satanic. It's demonic.
Totally.
And so I tell people, and it's important, and I'll say it again, you don't want to categorize or describe anything that's happening as, we tell all the time, well, this is insane. No, because insanity exonerates responsibility.
That's right.
It's not insane. It's evil. It's a big difference. Big difference.
That's right.
And I look at Zoran Mamdani.
Right.
Okay, he's probably going to make it.
I know. That's what's scary about it.
Do you know how many Jews voted for him? 22%. 22% of New York Jews voted for basically
a communist
Hitler.
Islamist.
Hitler was going
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, vote for me. I'll take you to Auschwitz."
Yeah. Wow. Help me. Okay. First, let's stay right there.
It's a little intense.
Help
but
me understand that, because that's. You would think that the Jewish population would vote in their own self-interest, but they vote in people that are going to slice their necks.
I think that the modern American Jew is absolutely completely disconnected from the land of Israel and the importance of Jewish identity. They're more interested in social justice, and then they react to, from a liberal standpoint, they react from what they think is the white supremacist, right-wing, extreme alt-right. So the reaction is to be the other side. So I'm not going to be one of those, Trump, MAGA, whatever they call it, Nazis, whatever. So they've been reacted on the other side, and they're interested in social justice. And you talk to most liberal Jews, they don't care about Israel.
Wow, that's just.
And they don't care about their Jewish identity. So it's just like, yeah, I'm Jewish, but what about the poor Palestinians? But It's going to take, I don't like saying it, I've said it a couple times now, it's going to take an event like 9/11 just on the Jews in America to wake them up. Like a big synagogue or a multiple synagogue attack at the same time. And I hope I'm wrong, and Lord, please don't allow this to happen.
Right, right.
But something that big when the Jews are going to go, okay, we're not safe.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Right.
starting to wake up in France. My family in France, they got their papers to make Aliyah. They're ready.
I bet.
And I talked to my nephew who makes really good money. He has a good job in France. He has a nice house. He had a wife, 2 beautiful kids. I mean, he's got the life, okay? He's my son's age, 35. And I said, well, are you going to go to Israel? He goes, well, I'm not called to go, but the first time that if they beat me up on the street, or if they paint a swastika on my door, or if they go after my kid in the school, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, why wait?
Right. Why wait for that?
What if they kill one of you?
Right.
Because there was a guy who came back from a synagogue in the suburb of Paris about a week and a half ago, and they beat him to a pulp. And I'm going to talk about that in my presentation tomorrow. They beat him to a pulp. We're going to kill all the Jews, and you don't even know where it's coming from. It's
Right.
coming from the left. It's coming from the Arabs. It's
Yes.
coming from the right. It's coming from the atheists. It's coming from Hollywood. It's coming from everywhere. You don't know who you can trust.
Yeah.
The only place for Jews where it's safe is the place that's in the middle of a war right now,
Yeah.
Israel.
Isn't that amazing? And so tie that in to what we're seeing, because you're right. You're seeing anti-Semitism left. We have the woke right in America, right?
Or like John Haller calls it, the third right.
Yeah, the third right. Is that right? That's a good point.
I like that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
The third right.
The third right. So you see that, but and so it's not, and obviously Islam, but it's like everyone's ganging up on Israel, and you know, I'm going to be talking about Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk wrote a letter to Israel, to Bibi, saying you guys need to step up your game in the information war, because you're losing the propaganda war. You might be winning the war in the Middle East against the terrorists, but what are we watching? Is this prophecy? What is going on? Because it seems like it's coming from everywhere.
Well, Brandon, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, published the results of a survey. It was end of January of this year, and in it, I was blown away. They said it's probably a few more points now up. They said 46% of all adults in the world, 46% harbor some kind of anti-Jewish sentiment.
Dude, that's crazy. That's only half of the.
That's half the planet.
That's half the planet.
Of the adults. And so you want to connect that to the Bible? You and I know that in Zechariah, the promise, it's in the Bible, it's the Word of God, there's no mistake, that in the end times, the whole world will go against Jerusalem. The whole world will go against the Jews.
Sure.
Okay? 46%, we're halfway there.
Yeah, you're right.
We're halfway there. It's happening in front of our eyes.
That blows me away, and it seems to me, in my perspective, we've moved from regional anti-Semitism like Nazi Germany to now this more global thing. That seems to be kind of a birth pain to me, because it's such a scale. When you say 46% of the Earth's population, and to a people group that's the smallest on the planet, that has not done anything but bless the nations. So tell me this.
And by the way, you know what's after, from local to national, you know what's next? State anti-Semitism.
State anti-Semitism?
State anti-Semitism, when the government, implements things like Zoran Mamdani.
Right.
Okay, if the guy becomes the new mayor, you get the guy who's running for mayor in Minnesota. I haven't checked on him lately.
Yeah.
But you got all those guys, the stealth jihad. They infiltrate the government, low level, then they go up, and this guy's running for mayor. State anti-Semitism, when it's basically that gets to the level of the Third Reich.
Well, so this is interesting that you say that, because you're going to present at the Prophecy Conference about anti-Semitism, and I'm going to present about the Trojan horse of Islam. And here's what I'm picking up with Islam in America and the West. You're partnering with the communists, Marxists, socialists, the leftists. and had this, Trevor Loudon calls it this red-green axis.
Red green, yeah.
And so, you know, what I'm seeing in Dearborn, Michigan, with the calls to prayer and all that stuff, that they're working in concert with organizations that are communist. So I'll give you an example, and I want you to comment on this. The riots that we had in LA about ICE, okay?
Yeah.
So people think, well, was the riots just simply about rioting against ICE? No, it wasn't, because they were wearing keffiyehs. And they were shouting river to the sea. And there was this Palestinian flags running through the anti-ICE rage. And then I find out.
What does it have to do with ICE?
What does it have to do with ICE? And then I find out that communist organizations, SEIU, communist billionaires were involved in funding the whole thing. And the guy that was funding some of the raids in LA is the guy funding some of the stuff happening at Columbia University with the anti-Semitism. And so, Olivier, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is their ultimate plan here?
Well, let's take it back to the Bible. And, let's start with my definition of anti-Semitism, because I think that will help.
Good one.
Anti-Semitism is the irrational and satanic hatred of Israel and the Jews, characterized by thoughts, words, and deeds against them. And the two key words are irrational and satanic.
Irrational and satanic.
Or
okay.
you could say satanic, thus irrational.
Irrational.
Because I mean, they're connected. But here's the thing. You're looking at the free Palestine in the middle of an ICE protest
Right, it
against
doesn't even make
ICE.
sense.
There's no connection.
No.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay?
Okay.
You've got the right and radical Islam. You've got or queers for Palestine.
I know, which is oxymoron.
I
like
mean,
flaming snow. What?
Is chicken for QFCs?
I know,
For KFC.
right.
I mean, it's just like it makes no sense at all. So, but again, they agree on the complete eradication of Israel and the death of all Jews. So they'll work together because ideologically, they're on opposite sides of the spectrum on everything else. But on Israel, hey, let's get rid of the Jews. It's irrational, but Satan can make it sound and look rational. That's what he's doing right now. He's running on fumes.
Yes.
And what's scaring me, Brandon, is how fast we're losing friends.
Yeah, speak to that. 'Cause you and I have talked off record about this multiple times, and I want our audience to hear this, because those we thought were in our camp are no longer in our camp. So explain to the audience what's happening.
Well, I mean, 5, 7 years ago, I used to think, wow, this girl, Candace Owens, she's like, if this is the next batch of young Americans, there's hope. Conservative, smart, sounded like she was a Christian. She was not, but sounded like she had, Judeo-Christian values.
Right.
And then she flipped. I mean, I don't want to say she's demon-possessed, but she's definitely used by the devil right now.
Something's off, yes.
Something's off.
Yes,
okay?
totally.
Mind you, she converted to Catholicism, so...
Right, so there you go.
And she's really into it, okay? She's,
Yeah.
I jokingly refer to her as a Shiite Catholic.
There you go.
You know.
That's a good way of explaining it.
So she's really into it. So maybe there's some demon oppression, whatever.
Sure.
So Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson,
Yeah, Tucker.
even Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly, too. Put her in that camp.
All those guys that we thought were balanced in their views and not going to agree on everything, they turned.
Yeah.
And they are all conservatives. And the problem is that still a lot of conservatives and a lot of Christians are still, there is this desensitization. They see how conservative they are, but they miss the Israel disconnect.
Yes.
And it doesn't seem to be a big deal to them. So, I love Tucker. He's a voice for the conservatives. Well, but he's a voice against Israel now.
That's right.
So what do you make of that?
Exactly. And this is interesting because they're in our camp, we thought. And so now this hostility towards Israel is coming up. But I want to even go even further into the church, because you and I have talked about this. I've talked to Tom about this. We're watching guys in our own camp that have our eschatology, have our understanding of Israel's place in the future. But I have drilled this down over and over and over to my own people, and I taught this. And our own people who listen they're not owning it, so they'll listen to some YouTube nut job and say the Mossad was behind Charlie Kirk's death. The Mossad or the 5 Jews bombed the World Trade Center buildings.
Yes, and Epstein was working for the Mossad. Yes.
Right, same thing. Okay, so they'll say, well, Brandon, you know, I'm pro-Israel, but then they go off and believe conspiracy theories about Israel, blood libels almost. And it's like, wait a second, man, what's going on with people? I don't understand that.
I think what's going on is that there are a lot of Christians, and I'm not saying these people are not Christians.
No, I'm not either.
But we are going to be entering a time, and I think we're there already, entering a time where Christians are going to have to really choose sides, and they're going to have to, I've heard it before when it says that, you know, Christians that don't love Israel or don't bless Israel are not going to be raptured, or I don't believe that.
No.
I don't think that's true. That's not biblical.
No.
But losing jewels on your crowns, and you know, yes, definitely. I think a lot of Christians are going to be becoming lukewarm Christians and not want to be involved with Israel. They're going to become bystanders when there is a need, and the need is right now. The time is now.
Yes, it is.
For Christians to say, hey, I want to know how to, and I'm going to talk twice on that topic. I'm going to close with that at the conference. I want to learn how to reach Jewish people with the gospel in a way that's going to be they can understand and they can relate to. And we equip with our ministry, we equip them that way. And then, by virtue of loving Israel, every Christian who loves Israel should automatically think, how can I be a good Samaritan to my Jewish neighbor? What can I do?
Right.
And sometimes it's something small, like knock on their door and say, hey, if you need anything, it's getting crazy around here. I know you have a Jewish family. If you need anything, count on us.
Right.
You know us. We've been neighbors for 10 years, 5 years. Count on it. Little things.
Yes.
You know, or like what you do as a pastor, and I know other pastors who started doing it, you know, offering the security team on Shabbat, on Friday night, on Saturday morning. That's huge. I was in a car 2 weeks ago with a pastor who received for Rosh Hashanah a phone call from the rabbi in his town, and he said, we want to let you know we're all ready for your team to come and do security on Rosh Hashanah. I was driving, I almost cried.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
mean, I told him to do it, he did it, and the rabbi was like grateful.
Yes.
This is what I want to see.
Yes.
But that's going to be a very small, somebody I really, really appreciate and respect many, many years ago called it the Remnant Church.
That's right.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
I first heard it from you. The Remnant Church. This is a very small group.
Yes, it is.
Dwindling down to even smaller.
Yeah. And so this remnant group is fighting, I don't know what I guess Laodicea, because obviously Laodicea is all around, but Laodicea comes at us and says, you know what, Olivier, you know what, Brandon, Israel's just too much of a political issue, so we don't want to talk about it. Explain to them how Israel is not a political issue, and what kind of issue is it? Because they're saying, well, I've heard this. We need to care more about the Muslim immigration that we're having and the transgender stuff that's going on in our schools. So we need to take care of this first before we worry about what's going on in Israel.
We need to take care, well, I mean, we need to help with Muslim immigration. We need to help about transgender. We need to help about abortion. All those things are all important to help. But also, there's no other, Israel is the only country and the only people group that is mentioned in the Bible that is important to God.
That's right.
And so, going back to Genesis 12:3 to bless the Jews, and all throughout the Bible, you see that God is not done with the Jewish people. And really, another issue that I have that people come to me all the time and say, well, you know, modern Israel is different from biblical Israel.
Right,
so,
I hear
you know,
that all
I
the
support
time.
biblical Israel, and so I ask him and says, well, how different is that? Where is it different? So, well, you know, the Israeli government, you know, is not a religious, holy, biblical government. And I said, well, you're American, right? Yeah. So, well, how's your government? Did you vote for a pastor? Is your government perfect?
Right.
No.
Right.
You know, I agree that the Israeli government is making mistakes, but it's the same Israel that was promised by God to the Jewish people promised in Genesis 12, the boundaries in Genesis 15, which are not even close to where we are right now. And I don't see any change. And,
Yeah.
I don't see a God who's going to change his mind either.
Right.
He has not transferred that to the church.
That's right. That's right.
It's the Jewish people. That does not take away the need to share the gospel with the Jews. It's becoming even more important because I don't know how much time we have before the rapture.
I agree. I agree. How are we doing on Jewish evangelism? Because that's first and foremost in your wheelhouse. How are we tackling that right now?
I can tell you what we're doing at Shalom and Messiah.
Yeah.
There are many Jewish ministries. I mean, I was with them that's very involved in Jewish evangelism around the world for 27 years. And I started Shalom and Messiah a year and a half ago. And again, I have you to thank for that because I told you one day, I says, I want to go to Israel and see what I can do. And then you called me back and you said, I'm going in 2 weeks. You want to join?
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And that was the beginning.
Yeah.
And now we've joined, we've partnered. We
Yep.
have a base of operation in Upper Galilee.
Yep.
And I get phone calls from Israel almost every day.
Wow.
From Elia, from
Good.
Ariel, from another group, Moledet.
Yeah.
The people that do all
Uh-huh.
the. And this morning I got a call from the guy who speaks French to me, and we're building relationship.
Yeah.
We went back to the house in August, and I had earned the right to speak from coming several times, bringing supplies, telling them we pray for them, telling them that there are Christians who love Israel.
That's right.
And then because I had earned the right to speak, I said, after dinner, I want to tell you my story and why I do what I do. So I had all the soldiers sit in the living room, and I shared my testimony. And at the end, I gave them all a New Testament in Hebrew.
Wow, that's tremendous. That's awesome.
And only 3 of them took it home,
Okay.
including the mayor of our town.
Oh, really?
Yes, who smiled at me, and so that was, he could have evicted us,
Right.
But small steps. But
Sure.
they know what we believe, and again, when you said skin in the game, we need skin in the game.
Yeah.
We need to show them that we care, but we don't care on paper. We care on the ground.
That's right.
I'm going in 2 weeks. I'm going back in January with Keith.
Yeah.
And we care. We go there. We build relationships.
Yeah.
And we earn the right to speak. And then we tell them, by the way, I do it because of what I read in my Bible and my Messiah. And I
Yeah.
could go on and on and on. But
No, but
it's opening doors.
But that's the thing is it's not an either or. When someone says, "Well, you guys need to be focusing on what's happening in your schools," we are. I am going to the board meetings, but I can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yes.
I can take care of the transgender propaganda here, but I can also take care of Israel as well. And so they try to make a false dichotomy, like it's an either or thing, and it's not. But let me ask you this then.
And by the way, the 7-year tribulation is not called the time of LGBTQ or the time of immigration. It's called the time of Jacob's trouble.
Amen.
It refocuses on Israel.
And I'm glad you said that because that brings to mind, and I want you to speak to this, the sheep and goat judgment. The prime issue that Messiah is dealing with the sheep and goats, the Gentile nations. Explain to them what the topic is.
Well, the sheep and goat of, Matthew 25, 31 through 46, when Yeshua returns at the end of the tribulation and he's talking, and he's not talking to, this is not a message to the church today.
Right.
This
It's
is a
social
message.
justice.
No, there's a model there, and that's what I want to end with. But the context is that he's saying to Gentiles who got saved after the rapture, so they were left behind. They got saved, and then as a result of their salvation, they wanted to bless the Jews, and then some blessed the Jews, and some curse the Jews.
Yeah.
Those who curse the Jews go straight to the lake of fire, and those who bless the Jews go straight into the kingdom, the Messianic kingdom. And he says to them, the king speaks to them, and he calls them the righteous.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, because I call them the new righteous among the nations.
Yeah.
And he calls them the righteous. He says, hey, anything you did to them, it's the same as you did to me.
Right.
And so the model for me, what I'm trying to wake up the Christian crowds that I talk to, said, listen, this is going to happen at the end of the tribulation. We're going to be raptured, but now we could really use the model of the sheep and the goat to help our Jewish friends
I agree.
today.
I agree.
And that's what you're doing with your church.
Yes.
That's what we're doing with Shalom and Messiah. That's what
Sure.
Tom is doing.
Yes.
But just a few of us.
I know.
It's so frustrating to see, even in the numbers of people that said that they love Israel, they support Israel, they pray for the peace of Jerusalem. It's just all on paper.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to sound ungrateful.
No, I get it. I get it. But that's what we're even learning, that, okay, within the pool of pro-Israel and dispensationalism or whatever, people who see the plan of Israel, they're not putting skin in the game. And I think October 7th was a dividing point in the church.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are seeing right now if there was a Pandora's box of anti-Semitism, it's been opened.
Yeah.
It's all out. It can't go back in.
Yeah.
And it's
totally.
going to increase. It's going to exponentially. We've seen it. We've seen the increase since October 7th. I mean, it's unreal, unbelievable, and it's going to continue that way. And where was the? I was going to say something and I forgot what you just said. What did you just?
Well, we're not getting skin in the game.
That's it.
The people in our camp.
That's it. And I've been saying this to people for a few months now, because when I speak like a crowd like here,
Yeah.
I would assume that most of the people at this conference are going to be pro-Israel.
Totally.
So I tell people, and I will say this weekend, I say, you are all pro-Israel. The time is now to become proactive for Israel.
Amen.
We are going to go from pro-Israel to proactive
That's great.
for Israel.
I love that.
And skin in the game.
That's right.
And then we have ways to tell you how you can do it.
Yeah, amen. And I think that's another dividing line, because, I've seen churches, and plenty of them, say that they're pro-Israel, and I've seen organizations, prophecy organizations that are pro-Israel. But it's like, well, what have you done since October 7th?
Don't get me started. I don't want to name names.
You know what I mean?
But there's a big ministry that raises tons of millions of dollars for Israel. And then a ministry. I'm not talking about the the one that's not a ministry.
I get it.
With a real ministry. You would be shocked. And then I had a lady call me about 3 months ago. She goes, Olivier, how can we send money to Shalom and Messiah to help the IDF? And I go like, don't you go to the church connected to that ministry? She goes, yes, but we asked him, there's no way to donate towards Israel. Excuse me?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm like, but they raise more money than you and I could raise in 5 years.
Right. Totally. That's where I'm.
Where is that going?
I'm not understanding that. Is that not real? What is that? And so anyway, here's the thing. We need to build a coalition. And I know we're trying to bring in pastors and get them on board on this. And so I want to say to the audience, if you're wanting to get involved and donate to the IDF, you can go through Shalom and Messiah, or you can go through Rock Harbor. Either which way, your money's going to the IDF families, and to support the Jewish people there.
And it's not just the money going. We go there.
Yes.
I mean, his staff goes there every month, every other month.
Yeah.
I go there 3 to 4 times a year. We build relationships. We pray with these people. We bring them supplies.
Yes.
We have skin in the game.
That's right.
You can have skin in the game by helping us do more.
Amen. You're coming out with a new book.
It's behind my back.
Right there. Help us understand what did you write, what's about, and how can they get this thing?
It's called Anti-Semitism in the End Times, How the Rise of the World's Oldest Hatred is Paving the Way for the Messiah's Return. This is a big update to a book that I did 8 years ago on end times anti-Semitism. It's got a lot of new materials, and it covers October 7th, and it goes all the way to the end of 2024. It's got a lot of new materials, a lot of history of anti-Semitism, and it's gonna bring you up to date. And it just got released on October 7th, 2025.
Fantastic.
And that actually, it's climbing up to become a #1 on Amazon. So
Is it really?
I mean, I'm not bragging, but I would love it to be #1 because then
Amen.
it
Get out.
just gives you exposure. And it's not about the money, it's about people. You need to get this book. It's going to tell you things you won't get on Newsmax or anywhere else, okay? because we get it. We get the biblical perspective.
Amen.
And so, anyway, and I think, let me see, endorsed by Brandon Holthaus.
Unfortunately,
Did I send you a
this is the
check?
best you can do is get me. I mean, come on, you could have done better than me.
Thank you.
But no, it's definitely worth it. I read through it and it's phenomenal. And so I want to make sure you guys get that into your hands. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, where they find it?
Everywhere you can find books. I had a
Okay.
friend yesterday who was in a Christian bookstore in Ohio. She sent me a picture. She goes, look. So you know,
Fantastic.
it's a Harvest House. They do a great job.
Yeah, Harvest
They do a
House
really
is
good
really
job
good.
at spreading the word. So
Good.
yeah.
Where can people find you if they don't know you?
ShalomInMessiah.com. ShalomInMessiah.com. Our website. You can also find us at Shalom and Messiah Ministries on YouTube. Shalom and Messiah updates on Telegram and all the other social network. If you type Shalom and Messiah or you type my name, Olivier Melnick, you will find me. And thank you.
Yeah. Let me add something to that. If you guys are out there and you're Gentiles like me, and you have been blessed by the Jewish people, according to the Apostle Paul, and by Olivier Melnick and others like him, we have an obligation to help the Jewish believers. This is Romans 15:27, guys, so look it up yourself if you don't believe me. Paul will make sure to tell the Gentiles like me and you that we owe an obligation to help the Jewish believers financially. They have blessed us spiritually, and so we're supposed to bless them materially, Romans 15:27. So here's what I want to do. I want you to add Olivier Melnick to your giving, okay? You have to have a Jewish organization like him that's doing Jewish evangelism and doing the work because it's to the Jew first, and we're supposed to help the Jewish people. So I want to encourage you. Yeah, we want to give to your church and different ministries, but you must have in your portfolio of giving a Jewish ministry, and Olivier is one of the places you can give to. So I want to put that in there for you. So anyway, help Olivier out. He needs the help to get the Jewish gospel out because it's the Jewish Messiah who we serve. It's Jewish, and so we want to make sure our Jewish friends hear about that, okay? Olivier, thank you so much, my friend, for
Be blessed.
being on.
Thank you.
God bless you,
Shalom.
man. And guys, thank you so much. And remember what Messiah said. When you see these things begin to happen, like global anti-Semitism, look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. God bless you guys. We'll see you next time.
Shalom.